In the next few minutes, you are about to discover why Black Adam is not just another powerful DC character, but potentially the single most dangerous force the DC Universe has ever tried to control. Because this video will reveal how his true power works, why it goes far beyond brute strength, how magic changes the rules of every battle he enters, and what would really happen if Black Adam ever stopped holding back and decided that the world itself needed to be ruled, corrected, or destroyed in the name of his twisted sense of justice. So stay until the end, because what starts as a story about a misunderstood anti-hero slowly turns into a terrifying scenario where even the Justice League might not be enough. Black Adam is often compared to Superman, and on the surface, that comparison seems simple and even lazy, because both fly, both are insanely strong, and both can turn cities into rubble if they sneeze too hard. But the real difference begins where Superman's powers end. Because Black Adam does not rely on science or alien biology. He relies on ancient magic. And in the DC Universe, magic is the one thing that ignores all the rules, breaks all the limits, and laughs at logic while doing it. The power of Black Adam comes from 6 ancient gods, each one gifting him a fragment of divine ability, meaning he is not just strong, but divinely strong, not just fast, but magically fast, not just durable, but protected by forces that predate civilization itself. And this matters, because while Superman can be weakened by kryptonite, Black Adam has no such convenient off switch, no glowing rock that saves the day, and no universal weakness that heroes can exploit when things go wrong. What makes Black Adam truly unsettling is not his strength, but his mindset. Because unlike most heroes who hesitate, question themselves, or worry about collateral damage, Black Adam believes in results above all else. And if saving a city means destroying 1,000 enemies without mercy, then to him that is not a tragedy, but efficiency. And this ruthless clarity makes him far more dangerous than any villain who wastes time with speeches or grand plans. The DC Universe survives largely because its most powerful heroes hold back. But Black Adam does not see restraint as a virtue, he sees it as a flaw. And this is where the terrifying possibilities begin. Because if Black Adam ever decided to fully unleash his power without concern for consequences, the balance of the entire universe would collapse almost instantly. Imagine a world where Black Adam stops caring about approval, diplomacy, and alliances, and instead decides that the planet needs a single ruler strong enough to enforce peace through fear. Because from his perspective, humanity keeps repeating the same mistakes, creating the same wars, and empowering the same corrupt leaders. And if gods exist to guide mortals, then perhaps one god with a firm hand is better than chaos disguised as freedom. At this point, even the Justice League would struggle, because Superman would face an enemy who is not only his equal in raw power, but superior in magical combat. Wonder Woman would face a warrior whose divine strength rivals the gods she was trained to fight. Batman would face a threat no amount of preparation could truly neutralize, and the Flash would realize that speed means very little when magic bends reality itself. Black Adam's power is terrifying because it scales with his will, meaning the angrier, more determined, and more convinced he becomes that he is right, the stronger he grows. And unlike villains who crack under pressure, Black Adam becomes more focused, more precise, and more lethal the longer a conflict lasts, turning every prolonged battle into a losing war for his enemies. What truly separates Black Adam from total annihilation is the thin thread of personal code he still follows. Because deep down he does not see himself as evil, he sees himself as necessary, and that belief keeps him from crossing certain lines. But history has shown, time and time again, that once a character convinces themselves they are the only solution, the fall is inevitable. If Black Adam were unleashed completely, the DC Universe would face a domino effect of disasters, because governments would fall overnight, criminal organizations would vanish in days, and resistance would become meaningless. But the real danger would not be the destruction itself, it would be the order that follows, because a world ruled by fear may be peaceful, but it would no longer be free. Cosmic entities would begin to notice magical forces would awaken, and even gods would start questioning whether Black Adam has grown too powerful to exist unchecked, leading to a conflict not just between heroes and anti-heroes, but between divine beings who realize that one of their own gifts has become a universal threat. The irony of Black Adam is that his power was meant to protect, to inspire, and to guide, yet it may become the very thing that ends the age of heroes. Because once one being proves that absolute power can impose absolute order, the idea of heroism itself begins to crumble under the weight of that truth. And that is what makes Black Adam so fascinating, so dangerous, and so compelling to watch. because he is not chaos, for chaos's sake. He is control taken to its extreme, justice without mercy, and power without permission, forcing the DC Universe to confront a terrifying question it usually avoids, which is whether freedom is worth the suffering it allows. By the time you realize how close Black Adam always is to crossing that final line, it becomes clear that the scariest part is not what he could destroy, but what he could rebuild in his own image. Because once the world gets used to being ruled by a god, it may never want heroes again. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of DC's most dangerous characters and want more videos exploring dark scenarios, hidden powers, and what-if stories that change everything you thought you knew, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment with your thoughts on whether Black Adam is right or wrong, and share this video with other DC fans who love exploring the darker side of the multiverse.